drum sander arrives in 3 boxes on a pallet. The sander unit is the heaviest box at about 185 pounds. The other 2 boxes are the conveyor and stand at 35 pounds and 90 pounds respectively. Assembly of the cabinet is what I did first, and unboxing it was pretty easy if you just cut open the box, being careful not to cut into the finish on the parts. The closed stand is comprised of 5 pieces, a front and back panel, 2 sides, and the bottom plate. The bottom plate and the front and back pieces are each held to the sides with 4 bolts and screw-into tapped holes on the sides. All bolts are hand tightened until the drum sander is mounted on the stand. To assemble, I did the bottom plate first, then the back plate, and finally the front panel with the door. The door opening made it easier to get to the screws in the bottom of the front panel. There are 2 rubber feet that get installed on the bottom right side, along with the ankle-busting caster wheel lift. Here is a quick walk around of the completed stand. I did the same thing for the drum sander unit as I did with the stand, and that was cutting the box away. Here's the new shop toy, and my inability to put the camera back correctly. There are 4 bolts on the bottom of the sander that secure it to wood for crating. These are also the bolts that will be used to secure it to the stand, so put them somewhere safe. I sat down, took a break, and did some speed reading while waiting for reinforcement. I'm guessing I could have lifted it myself, but I do have a lovely wife, why not enlist her help? And the instructions show you the lift points when raising the sander. Those lift points call for 4 hands. That I do not have. The sander is secured to the stand by the 4 bolts that were removed earlier. You can tighten these down once they are lined up with the holes in the top of the stand. This is also the time to tighten the 12 bolts that were hand tightened during stand assembly. Before placing the conveyor unit on the drum sander, there are 2 nuts and 2 Allen head bolts that need to be removed from under the cantilevered arm. Keep these, they are used to secure the conveyor. The conveyor lifts out of the box and slides right into place. The 2 Allen bolts on the motor side should only be tight enough to secure the unit in place while also allowing the fast lever to move from its normal and oversized positions. The installation of the DRO is very simple. There are 2 brackets supplied with the Wixie digital sander height readout unit. One is fixed to 2 factory drilled and tapped holes on the front of the sander frame, and the other mounts to the cantilevered arm. To install, the Wixie attaches to the front mount via a pair of double-sided pieces of tape. They are pre-installed by Wixie. There is also a bolt done through the bottom. The arm that attaches to the readout attaches via a screw on the side of the unit, and the top right bolt on the side of the drum sander is loosened to attach the other side of the bracket. It also helps to have some S4S stock ready to perform the zeroing of the unit once the installation is complete. The infeed and outfeed tables consist of a bracket and panel for each side. The bracket mounts to the 1938 with 2 bolts underneath the conveyor bed, and the table mounts to the top of the bracket with 4 bolts, 2 on each side. These bolts are used to level the table with the conveyor belt. I used a 24-inch straight edge to sit the tables to the conveyor. The process took about 10 minutes per side to install and level. Now the Infeed and Outfeed tables look like wings on a single-engine airplane. Overall, assembly took a casual hour and a half and was pretty easy to do with my wife's help, of course. The SuperMax 1938 is extremely well built and very solid. There's no movement that I can detect in the cantilevered arm, and the finish it leaves really is great. Changing the sandpaper is also pretty easy after you've done it 2 or 3 times. I only have one concern with the unit, and that's the enclosed base that I opted for. When moving it around, if the caster's wheel orientation is in the wrong position, it can cause the top-heavy unit to want to tip, so this is something I'll need to be cognizant of when I'm moving the device around. The glue-up board you see now is African mahogany and Wengi. I wanted to level the surface and remove the glue-up squeeze-out. It took several passes to do this with 120 grit paper. The results are outstanding. Thanks for watching and bearing with the poor editing. I do have to start somewhere. Please subscribe to my channel for the occasional video about woodworking and tools.